welcome back to On the Mic with the M.
Auntie.
Listen, y'all. If, last week we had a hot discussion, and it's up and running. Listen to your comments. We want to hear all of them because we were off the wall and hot last week with that conversation about Jada, which hopefully we won't have to talk about her
I was
again.
just, I was as cool as a cucumber.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was very, very cool. The producer was a little hot.
Yeah.
So today it's just us. The producer had to take another week to calm down a little bit. So, but this week is gonna be probably not as heat intensive, not as hot, but we're gonna deal with a thing called morality. Uh, little word, big meaning. And I want to start by saying you should not need a Quran, a Bible, Torah, or any other book to live a moral life. Not preaching to anybody. Now I ain't gonna go there. But when people say, "Well, you know what? I couldn't tell right from wrong. One thing led to another." That's some bullshit. You know you wanted to goddamn get to where you gotta get to. Now you gotta fess up to what you did. So
Mhm.
today we're gonna talk about morality and how to really have it and not go church. You can go church, and we suggest you do whatever your spiritual life calls you to do. But
Right.
stop blaming it on one thing happening to another and get some morality back in your life. What do you think, T?
I mean, I think first of all, we got to start off with instilling morality in our household because what we see in today, like that lack thereof, the question
Oh,
was it instilled in that generation before, right? Like you
that's
really got
true.
to stop and ask those questions.
That's
Because
true.
morality is something that is taught, like the things that we do and don't do in this house, right? Like we don't
Mm-hmm.
treat people like that, right? Your mother would
Mm-hmm.
tell you when you go out and walk past a janitor and you smile and you speak to people. We don't just ignore people, and it doesn't matter what type of job they have. That's part of your moral upbringing, that moral guidance, right? And it's
Absolutely.
really something that you have to instill in your children. And so if you're around your children and you're kind of always on joke time and it's okay to kind of laughingly treat people like crap, or it's a feud with the family, siblings, child's father, and it's right in the child's face. That's their moral. That's how they're being brought up. That's that moral you know compass and guidance being instilled in them. And it's a little all over the place because now you're being taught and guided how to talk to people, right? So
Yeah.
if you're a daughter, right, you're an adult child, and you're disrespectful towards your mom, or your tone is just excessively loud or just out of the normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
What type of morals are you giving to your child, right? Are they learning to respect their elders? So what happens when they become children, adults? Do they then in turn respect their elders? If you're a woman and you're having a falling out with your significant other, your child's father, right, and your child is
Mm-hmm.
watching the falling out happen, the child is watching it all, right? Are you teaching your child grace? Are you
Mm.
teaching your child to maintain respect even when someone's not respecting you? What are we teaching our children, nieces and nephews? Because everybody's a sponge around us, just soaking it up. Even our girlfriends, right? our,
Mm-hmm.
our girlfriends are snatching back off our energy, our homeboys, right? And so if
Mm-hmm.
you over there acting a plum fool with your significant other, how you think my girlfriend gonna act if all I act is a plum fool? She gonna feel like she gotta match my energy, as opposed to redirecting the situation. Like, nah, sis, that's not how we talk to men out here. Don't disrespect that man like that. Who's gonna redirect and teach and instill and show us, exactly what needs to be done and morally how to move? It has to be us. How we
Got to
teach
be.
our children, how we move ourselves. The men cannot sit in a circle and listen to other men how they're moving immorally, how they're treating their women or their children, immorally, complaining about how to support and when to support their children. And we're all going to listen to it. Somebody there has to say flag on the play, sir. Flag.
That
No,
is so
no.
true.
You only see your kid every other weekend. That's not a lot. It's a start. It's a
Mm-hmm.
start, but it's not a lot.
That's true.
See,
That
it's
is so
it's
true.
7 days in the week, and you might not see your kid that week any of those 7 days. It's actually not a lot. You could do more. And it's immoral of you just to be sitting there being somebody yes person. Mm-hmm. Oh, you oh dog, that's wrong. Girl, I know he ain't doing no, no, no. You talking disrespectful to each other.
Yep.
That's not morally sound. That is out of order. That's
And that is so true. T, you are actually speaking the absolute truth because I know growing up that you, I'll be honest, I'm gonna look at y'all right now. Growing up, I didn't want to go to no goddamn church. And I know most of y'all looking at me today say, yeah, when I was growing up, I didn't really want to go to church. I was forced to go to church. If my grandma or my mama or whoever, I'm going to go. But the one thing you learned was a sense of morality. Even if
mhm,
after you left church and you decided, you got became grown and start your own life, you may say, I may not go to church every Sunday like I used to, but you still had that sense of morality that was instilled in you by going to church
mhm.
and or going wherever you went.
And watch
And
women move or the
eh,
men move who went, right? Like it's more than
absolutely,
just the talk, it's the walk too.
absolutely, that
Yeah.
that was it. That was the key
Mm-hmm.
because they expected you. They taught you because they expected you to roll like they roll when you got older. As a
Yeah.
kid, you will understand because you're a kid. Yeah, yeah, okay, I listen to these Bible verses or whatever they're teaching me.
Mm-hmm.
But you remember those Bible verses. When you got out there, you know certain things that were instilled in you that you just would not do. There's just
Yeah.
certain things you're like, I'm not even going to try to do that because I know, because you go back to, oh, Lord, I'm sitting in
Yeah.
church and I remember they tell me I shouldn't do that. So you
Yeah.
do know.
It's a line,
And
boundary that's created. That's that moral compass. That's trying to guide you because you already built that foundation. It's set, right? Somebody has to
absolutely.
set it.
Yes, somebody
Mm-hmm.
has said it, and you knew from that point on that you're gonna get it. You weren't even gonna duck church. Because let's say your parents may not have gone to church, but God damn it, somebody's gonna send your ass to church. Go to your grandmama, or your grandma's gonna come pick your ass up and take you to church.
Absolutely.
Somebody, a sister, or auntie, or someone's gonna grab you and take you. So you couldn't say, well, when we were growing up, well, I never went to church, or I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do, because you went there. Now, if you chose not to follow the path, that's
Mm-hmm.
your choice. But
Absolutely.
you were taught. The problem is, like you stated today, is these babies of today aren't getting the same forceful. I don't want to say forceful. They're not getting the same training as we did.
Yeah.
You may not, like I said, I ain't want to go every Sunday, but damn, I was going every Sunday. But these babies, they ain't getting the opportunity to even go every Sunday. They may
Mm-hmm.
not even go ever. They may have went there when they got Christian, and that was it.
Yeah. As babies.
As babies, and that was about the last time they went there. Or you get the ones that may have gone, Easter, Mother's Day, Christmas. We call that those three and very important times. You only show up in church, and everybody
Yeah.
look at you and say, "Oh, you back,"
That's
but you back.
that's
You
when all
did
the
come back.
benefits come out.
Yes, you see
Yeah,
everybody
but
you
you
haven't seen
learn
in
some
20 years.
valuable lessons. So even if that's where you start at, show up.
Just show up. Just show
Yeah.
up. And if you don't want to show up and you're not giving your baby any leadership or any guidance, because again, what I hear a lot of people say is, I'm busy. The ones that don't go, like, I'm busy. I got work. I got to go work in the morning. I got this long shift. I got all this going on. Fine and dandy. But you can at least give your kid to somebody. If you can't do it, give it to someone so they go out there and find that foundation.
Now be
Because,
careful when you give your kids to someone to instill certain stuff in them. Be mindful they will be reflective of other people as opposed to you.
oh,
Meaning,
can you say that again?
yeah, they're going to be reflective of those other people as opposed to you. Meaning, when you give your children to your parents and you rely on them only to instill the things that they believe in your children, you're going to see your child move in a way and you're going to hear your mom as opposed to hearing yourself.
Oh.
You have to be careful who you
Mm.
give your child to instill. And sometimes you're not even giving your child to these people. Sometimes you've left your kid just empty. And so who's ever pouring, they have nothing. And so now that's what they have. Yeah,
Oh,
you know it's true. If your kid has nothing, somebody gonna fill up their nothing with the something. And then what? So
oh
now
my
they're
God.
running around talking like the celebrities talk or moving like how the guys outside move, as opposed to moving like how you told them to move and taught them to move and talking like how you taught them to talk.
Oh,
See, my daughter's not going to be just like dancing and moving any old type of way that she's seen on TV and on TikTok. No, we're not
no.
here, right? I'm gonna do a little just like that. No, let me calm those hips down, 7-year old, because we not moving like that at this age. And you might know all those moves and dances, but you also know discretion, right?
Hello?
You move
Mhm.
differently in different rooms and spaces of people. The
Yes,
moral
you do.
guidance is going to remind you of that. It's not just the way you dance, it's the way you talk, it's the way you move. Depending on who's in that room, you will move different. Your volume will go up or down. The room full of your peers, you can be just as loud, make all the loud outbursts you want. Room full of elderly people, watch your tone. Be super respectful to your mama, and I mean super respectful. Now I mean like impress. Do the stuff that we don't even normally do. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I taught you that. Yes,
that's true.
yes.
Mind your manners. They tell
Manually.
you walk in
Yeah,
that door, mind your goddamn manners.
yeah,
You know how to act, and that means you better act the fool. Because if you
yes.
come back and you go in there knowing that I'm not going to disappoint them, because I know if I do go out here and act outside myself, they're going to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna feel disappointed in you because to them it's like I haven't raised you and trained you enough, well enough to go out here and not act a goddamn fool when you go
Mm-hmm.
to somebody else's house or somebody else's building or any function. You should be able to act accordingly because I
Yeah,
taught you that. Now,
yeah.
if you go out there and somebody else forced you to act accordingly, here's what I always heard. So if that person jumps off a bridge, you jump off a bridge too?
It's
Well,
the
no, I wouldn't.
So either you're going to either you're going to teach the moral compass and guidance. You're going to teach the morals to your child and give them consequences if they do not, act accordingly, or you're going to let
Mm-hmm.
them grow up and life
Mm-hmm.
is going to give them the consequences because they didn't have the proper set, moral compass to guide their choices in life, and they're going to choose poorly. And the consequences that life gives, you know, sometimes you're going to pay a long time for those things.
Absolutely. And we're seeing it now. We're seeing now what happens when you don't properly raise your kids with morals and standards.
Because they become
Um,
adults. You become adults who, no relationships are easy and go without fault, but it comes down to the breakdown of the relationships, right? And how
mhm.
we're able to just blatantly disrespect people out, like so loud, so outward, right? Like that goes
Yes.
people's moral compass when family relationships kind of go in a little bit of a kaboom, right, so to speak, like a blow up happens, right?
Hmm.
Certain family, like we can't put our business on Facebook, right? We can't go to the gram with our family's business because to us that's just not a choice that we would make. It's not morally what our compass is telling us to do, right? We know that no, our business is not for public, consumption, and it's just not what we're going to do. Same thing when you have a falling out with a family member. How much of a disrespect are you willing to give, the people that you're supposed to be loving and our blood tied to? Not much. Like
Hmm.
at a certain point, you like, let me walk away because this is family, right? And so you
Yep.
give a certain level of respect because your parents taught you that and they instilled that. But somehow when it comes to the mate that you chose and that goes awry, some people are able to enter into this space and place of disrespect that's so extreme and taken so far out of the damn ballpark. You're like, where's your moral compass at? How do
Exactly.
you get to be that disrespectful with the person who you just left 6 damn months ago? What are you doing? You
This
know
is
that's not right. And then the crazier part, you're gonna come back around trying to love on them later on. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, so come on, come
it's
on.
the T.
That's your moral speaking right there. Those are
It's
more.
you're absolutely right. And the thing is, people, I'm gonna look at you again. Understand this. Be very careful what you say to people when you're angry,
Mm-hmm,
because they will never. I mean, here it is. I'm gonna say it again so you're really clear on what I'm saying. Be very careful what you say to anybody in anger. They will never, ever, ever forget it. They may forgive you, but they will never forget it. and it will always be in the back of their mind in some file cabinet. They'll always have that little tension. Well, you said this to me because you said it. So that's why I
Mhm.
say be careful with your words, because words is power,
Mhm.
and that will always taint how you guys' relationships will be moving forward.
Mhm.
I had to say that because a lot of people say words don't hurt. It does.
Mhm.
Words hurt a lot of people, and people never forget it.
Yeah.
And you have to think about it. Say, oh, is it worth saying this? If you're doing it from a position of hurt,
Mhm.
never do anything from a position of hurt. Hurt
Mhm.
hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
So it's no need to do that because you're going to go down a road that's going to lead to nowhere. It's not going to lead to a nice rainbow in the sky, a little pot of gold. It's going to end to a pot of shit.
I mean, think about how the woman can talk and just like
Mm,
listen. Let that man rub you the wrong way, right?
yes.
A woman can use her tongue and not near one cuss word falling out of her mouth. I mean, rip that man apart. And
Sure will.
everything she say is the truth. But she didn't have to say it like that. I'll be damn. I mean, just if you're on the sidelines, you've been done wanted to cry for some of these men, the stuff that the women can say. I mean, just the sword for a tongue, right? And it's
Yes.
like you think that because you apologize for how you spoke to that man or what you said, that it's not going to like affect how he moves from here on out, right? You try
Hmm.
to emasculate the man who is your child's father, but then you want to go and clean up the relationship with him.
Mm,
Like me, that's a lot of cleaning. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, you
that's a
it's
lot.
easier to not shit in certain places
That's
because a lot of y'all don't got the elbow grease for it. I don't. I'm not doing it. I'm not falling off. No, nah.
no, you're not ready for that. No one is ready for that because when you emasculate a man, he never forgets it.
Yeah,
I was
and
in
then
conversations with uncles years ago, and
yeah,
just sit as a kid listening, and you said, "Damn, Aunt Such said that to him." Aunt,
he's still mad.
he's still mad because he's
He's
telling
60
them.
years later. That shit happened when y'all was back in your 20s. Shut your A yeah, but it's the truth. It's the truth. People
That-
do not forget. They do not forget. They can let it go. They can move on. Y'all can still have a relationship, but they're going to categorize the information and then they're going to move accordingly with that. Like, in other words, they're going to protect themselves from you. Perhaps they won't be as vulnerable with you as they move
Mhm.
forward. Perhaps they won't, let you in on how they're really feeling or what they're really doing. Like, because I don't ever want to get into a place and space where you can use such information against me or to chop me down and make me feel and the counterpart could have definitely done the same thing too, right?
Yes.
That doesn't mean that you're not going to move accordingly after. Like, it doesn't matter who's coming for who. The stuff that you hear people say when they're mad, those low blows, those damn kidney shots,
Oh,
ouch. Yeah,
mm.
nah, I'm not gonna forget that, sister. Oh nah, she said that she meant it. I don't give a damn if she did say sorry. She meant it,
Because
right?
it came out her mouth.
And she might not have meant it, right? She might have just been mad, but the fact that she thought it, it does something different to our mental spaces. And so
It
for us
does.
to just speak so freely, like I don't bite my tongue for nobody, I don't
Get it
got no
real.
cut cards. I keep it real. Yeah, it's a foolish, foolish behavior, and you're out hurting people. And the idea that you hurting people, like without the intent of hurting people or just like not even caring, foolish,
Yeah,
foolish. Yeah,
totally,
yeah.
totally. And
You're
there's
not a
people.
virtuous woman, I'll tell you that much.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
again, seeing it, seeing it when you're younger, and then seeing as you get in your relationships, and you start looking at how you interact with people. I mean, there's times in your head as a man, there's certain things you want to say that
Mm-hmm.
would just cut her. It's like a surgeon. You just
Yeah.
cut
Yeah.
her, and you have to ask yourself. That's when you step back and you say, what's the end result? What's my end game? Do
Yeah.
I want to hurt her, or do
Yeah.
I want to destroy this relationship?
You
Because
could.
hurting her could do that and destroy the relationship, because women don't forget either. Just
No,
like we
no.
don't forget, y'all damn sure
Oh,
don't forget.
elephant. No, but you could be asking yourself though, am I throwing a stone in my bed or am I not throwing a stone in my bed?
Oh,
Because sometimes you can just count it up to a stone. Like if I move like this, right? Is that
mm-hmm.
going to make the bed harder to lay in or is it going to be easier to lay? Is this a feather or a rock? Right? Like which one is it? And if you
That's
out
true.
there throwing rocks in your relationship,
And
why?
why? Why?
Why? If
Because
you
you
don't
want to
want
live
your
hard? No,
yeah,
don't do that.
do that by yourself. No, nobody want to live hard with nobody, especially like not a mental hard, right?
Oh
Like we
God,
just
no.
beating each other up mentally. Like it's too much money that's missing or need to be got out here for us to be out here like fighting each other when we're supposed to be in it together. Go find you somebody who wants to do it with you or somebody who you want to do it with.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello. Because if you with somebody that you got to live that way with, you should be in that relationship, and something's really wrong with you. I don't know
Yeah.
anybody that wants to live in a bad that type of relationship.
And you shouldn't be living with somebody who takes you out of your moral like hookup. Like what? They can snatch you so far out of yourself that
Mm-hmm.
everything your grandmama taught you, like everything your mama taught you, your daddy taught you, it just goes out of the window. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you in a bad situation. Either you've letting self-control go or you gotta let that person
Got to.
go.
You
Because
have to.
it just makes no sense if you're not within yourself and you can't stay within yourself even when you angry.
That's the
I don't
problem.
know how that's gonna work out.
And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. You just
Mm-hmm.
there, and then at some point, you almost kind of said, I can do better, but do I want to go out there and find someone? Yes. You
Yeah.
don't want to waste your goddamn time with somebody that one, you don't gonna marry him. If you're not
Yeah.
married, you just date him, and you had this kind of relationship. It doesn't get better. It gets
or
worse.
you or you just, not to say like you've developed an obsession with this person, but you're just kind of, because that sounds so harsh, but literally sometimes we become a little bit like obsessed with the person, right? Like that
Mhm.
guy's not going to marry you. When he gets around your family, like he's not even trying to really be a family oriented guy, and then when he leaves you, you try to run him over with your car. What? If you don't have been moved on, like he been told you. Remember that one Instagram video where the woman done ran that man over with her car? Like, and then
Yes.
hold on. Remember the other one where the girl tried to set that man car on fire and then it exploded in her face and knocked her off her damn socks? Like, these women are obsessed. We always talk about, and like when you think of obsession in a relationship, a lot of us go to like the male, right? Because they'll be
Hmm.
stalkers and you've seen it on Lifetime, your whole childhood. But like, think about the women who are real life obsessed with the men who know that these men are not going to marry them. These men do not treat them well, and they still going to go knock on, the next woman door talking about where my man at. You sleeping with my man? I'm gonna go hit him with the car, or I'm gonna, go call cheaters. What are you calling cheaters for? He's not your man. Like you just letting them play with you. You gotta let them go because these are obsessions, and this is taking you out of your morals, right? Like
Yes.
no better than to sit here and be obsessed over someone who, first of all, is not even treating you well, right?
Hello.
Who's not
You're right.
treating you well. You just trying to hold on to them for hold on sake.
Damn.
Not just not even for the sake of saying that you have someone, but just for the sake of not letting them go. It's not even making sense anymore. Yeah. So when your morals are being compromised in a relationship, or you're spiritually guided, and now the walk that your mate wants you to walk, it goes totally against every bit of your upbringing.
Hmm. Yes.
You
How
got
many
to
times
walk away.
you got to? Probably that show for my man.
Yeah. I was going to talk about a woman who perhaps is like stealing stuff with her man, but you went straight to killing.
Eh,
And like that was extreme, but let's go to For My Man. What's that, Dateline or something ridiculous?
Girl, for my man comes on BET, I think, and it's a show. And
Mm-hmm.
I swear I thought it was like a one season show. Like, oh, okay, it's a one season with a woman would do shit for a man. Oh no, there are multiple seasons. where
Yeah.
it's multiple women from different backgrounds. Some are, come from the streets. Some come from very two-parent household, middle
Yep.
class,
Yep.
and they will find them from that initial stage of, oh, look at them. They just want to find love, and they found this guy, and them get together. And by the end of the show, she done killed three people, done burnt up
Yep.
three. She done did all kinds of crazy shit for this
Yep.
guy, and now she's in jail forever, and he's in jail forever.
Yeah. But it
And
was
they
for my.
always for my man. And they all about, "Yeah, I would do anything for me because he showed me love. I never, that was the one common denominator. Probably 85% of them would say, he loved me. He was the only one in my life that showed me love. And I
Yeah.
said, since he showed me that much love, I gotta be dedicated to him. Dedicated to
Yeah.
a point where you messed your whole goddamn life up. Mess with this dude. You
Yep.
should,
Love
where
doesn't.
was your moral compass at
Love
that
doesn't
point?
challenge that moral compass. Love doesn't challenge it.
No.
Right. It helps to direct it to a path where you gain more freedom. Like that
Yes.
moral compass is guiding you to freedom, technically speaking, like to live, just a sound life.
T. If a guy says, can you just go commit a crime?
Hmm.
Can you go out there and strip for me, sell your body for me,
Hmm.
for us, and let's go ahead and just dismember this body and put it in a freezer because that's my old girlfriend who's trying to get child support from me. And you in your mind have to say, well, that's my man. He wants me to do it. I think I should help him. Something has horribly happened as a
Hmm.
crack in your damn moral compass. It's broken.
Hmm.
It's shattered at that point. And if you make these decisions to go there, and then the end in front of the judge, and everybody else talking about, I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry to the family that of the girl I dismembered. They don't hear that shit. First they're gonna say, why the hell did you even listen to some crazy shit with this dude then kill this chick, and you gonna help do what you do to the body because of love? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, hey Malcolm, let's bring it back several notches because that was a little extreme.
Yeah, it
Let's
was.
bring it back. Let's bring it back to the woman who shows up to child support court with her man who's not paying child support or showing up to visitations. Why are you supporting that man? That's immoral. He's not accountable for his kid, and you in child support court talking about what he need to pay for. What? No. Why are you? You should have been at home trying to get this man to come up with a proper agreement with this woman so that he could properly support, his kid. Like, we'll show up and throw that moral compass out of the river,
Mm-hmm.
on so many different, like, everyday basic, like, stealing cars, doing
Mm-hmm.
what you don't normally do, um, just compromising your body, like,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and
Constantly.
it's not just like selling your body. Sometimes it's just like, certain sex acts and sex shenanigans that perhaps, you didn't want to be involved in, but you got introduced into this lifestyle because you was, down for some guy. No, but it was against, your morals. Don't
Mm-hmm.
be down for no guy or no woman who's trying to drag you in the opposite direction of something that was right and that was instilled in you. Like, it's okay to be boring. Like,
Yes.
like, in a relationship or out of a relationship, it's okay to be, with a lot of people, want to call boring, you know. And
Yes.
if you're that damn bored, you better get up off your ass and find a little Korean barbecue to go kick it and talk to the random people that's in there. Because life is not that boring. I go out to eat myself often. I ain't never bored. Mm-mm. I mean, I'm
No.
bored, but not that damn bored. Shit.
No. Hell no. And it's again, it goes back to somebody didn't instill those values in you young for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason. But as a
Being at,
parent,
being at peace with yourself too. That's something else you got to be mindful.
oh,
Not that need for always being busy and it's needing someone's attention, right? Not,
yep.
you don't always have to be up in someone's face. Settle your mind with something as basic as reading or just finding a hobby or something to do, especially for the woman who kind of enjoys and kind of gets off almost like a drug on attention sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't really want to talk about that for the woman side of things, but you know that's something that as a woman and kind of coming into age, um that has to be taught also, right? Like, yeah, all
Absolutely.
that attention, that shit is cute. And you'll see your daughter, you
Oh my
know,
God.
age and start getting attention from here and from there and how they kind of respond to it. You also have to redirect and keep them humble, as far as that is concerned, because for a woman, then that attention is something that can really be enjoyable for a woman, and can be something that takes you away from where you really need to be at.
And T, that's very important because with young women growing developing so quickly now,
Hmm.
it's like you used to be able to say, oh, yeah, she's 13. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, she's 18. Now you're like, well, how are you, girl? Oh, I'm 10. Good
Hmm.
Lord. What the hell? So you now have to say, somebody need to talk to her because now she's going to get unwanted attention
Hmm.
because she's going to look a certain way, boys being visual, men being visual, and she's going to be in a light that she should not be in. So
Hmm.
somebody need to instill her something in her way before 10, but
Hmm.
younger, that you need to carry yourself a certain way. You don't dress a certain way. You don't try to act a certain way. You don't want to get too old because you're not ready for the work and what's going to happen when you put yourself in that arena. Because they're not going to say, "Oh, well, are you 10?" They're going to look at you and say, "Oh, you look like 18 to me." And now she's in a situation because she wants the attention. Like you said, she wants
Hmm.
the attention. But if she's properly trained, if she's properly has the moral background, she
Hmm.
knows that, hey, along the way, you're going to get some attention and then she's going to know, oh, this is what they're talking about. So she's not
Absolutely.
flashed, impressed
Absolutely.
by somebody saying, girl, you sure look good. No, she's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, okay, keep moving because she doesn't need it.
Because
And
that's absolutely true. Um, those young tender ages, really when you notice, people of all ages will start to notice you. Maybe not as young as, but shoot, yeah, I can recall even very young ages. You notice men kind of pay a little more attention and linger their eyes a little bit longer in your direction. Um,
mm-hmm,
as a young girl coming into age, if you are taught and constantly reminded, and that's how something is instilled in you, then you do know how to move through those situations, and you do know what that attention gets you, right? Because
mm-hmm.
told you, and then your auntie reinforced it, and then your other auntie, she just blatantly and blurted it out, because she don't got no. That was the filter free auntie, right? um
Nope.
but the way, as long as you get those teachings and those upbringings, then you do understand, and you are able to move and navigate and maneuver properly, right? If I have
Absolutely.
the attention from an adult man, is that's totally different than attention from my peer. Those are the people who's supposed to be giving me that attention. Because if let's say that man 28 years old and I'm 14,
Mm,
well, he done missed the 27-year-olds, the 26-year-olds, every damn group down to the 14-year-old group. So you telling me nobody else was worth that man's time in any other age group of it? Me, I'm the prize. How the
mm-hmm.
fuck could I possibly be the prize out of all of these other damn groups? And that's basically what my mom kept telling and teaching and instilling in me. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
be easy and be very careful, because the cream of the crop, for like, boo boo, you got it going on. And I'm gonna toot my own horn. Yes, I had it going on. Your mom did that. Yeah. What they
Mm-hmm.
said, all that. But you, no. 14 and grown ass men, nah, there's something wrong with them. Is everything right with you? And baby girl, you got it going on. And those young
Mm-hmm.
girls look like something. They're beautiful and they are gorgeous. And just like I said, I had it going on. They got it going on. Those
Yep.
girls are gorgeous and they are coming into their age. But baby girl,
Hmm.
those men,
Mm-mm.
not it. That's not it. They have been tossed over by every other group, all the women in every other group. You know what I'm saying? In
Absolutely.
your face, because nobody else wanted them. Leave them right on the outside and date within your peer group.
Absolutely. Because again, it's infatuation to you. It's like, oh my
Yep.
God, he sees me for the beauty I am. No, he ain't looking
No,
for
he
your
got the
beauty.
stop it, Malcolm. He got the money. He got the time. He got the attention. He don't go to school with me. He's not petty. He not going to run his mouth and tell my business like all my other peer guys are. I feel free with him. Young girl shit. You know what I'm saying? It's young girl shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
And all that
That's true.
whack. Just so we leave that out there. That shit is whack.
All that shit's whack. Because again, anybody that old talking to you and your child,
yeah, he's there to take advantage of the situation.
yes, he will. And how many people young ladies do we know in our lifetime have ended up being pregnant by such guy? And
I
then
mean,
such guy bounce.
I'll take it to the other side of the spectrum. You won't even have to go so far as that man. Just the very idea that he's there and enjoying my conversation and my time. No, he ain't even worth that. No, too much from me just off of that piece right there. Cause you're not even worth no other woman's time on the phone and energy in the park. You're not worth mine's either. You're not. Because if I got noticed by you, that means everybody else in this building is noticing me too, and they just too big of a coward to even mention it. So I'm gonna keep walking my little step. Keep your moral compasses all the way grounded, ladies. Keep walking. They might not be telling you they noticing you, but they are. And keep it cute. Doing what you do. Stay grounded.
Absolutely. And for guys, so these young boys are now getting the same attention. Surprisingly, teachers. It's
you
like
see that? What?
Like, what the fuck is going on?
What?
Like, God damn. I'm like, well, I read a story with a lady, a grown woman, was 35 and had a baby by the boy.
Yeah.
The boy was 13 years old, had a baby by him. She was trying to hide the pregnancy from her husband, mind you.
Hey, I'm
I was like, what?
Which one? Because it's been so many stories like that where the teachers and them popped up pregnant. Like, what?
What the fuck? So, like, what is going on? They're not going to worry about the female teachers banging my damn teenage son. That's bullshit. And of course, there'll be a lot of guys, oh, man, if I had a teacher like that when I was that age, no matter what you call it, it's still rape. It's still
the same situation. Either way you paint the picture. Yeah, 35-year-old woman who wasn't wanted inside of no circle amongst 35-year-olds, 34-year-olds, 33-year-olds, and every other age group down into your age group. That broad, nah. Either you go fix whatever is broken on you to where you can't come into a comparable relationship with another man. So now you over here playing in little boys' land. Like, because number one, any boy who's that mature to hang out with the teacher, he probably the cream of the crop in the classroom any damn way. So you messing up the little girl's situation. Young man, it's plenty of women, young girls checking for you in that classroom. Okay, they might not have mentioned it right now, but they have noticed you. Like, we're not even going to pretend like these women and these men who are on their pedophilia kick, like that shit is not okay. And the young people who was enjoying that attention and that money, let that shit rock out, because it's not it.
It's definitely not it. And it's ruining you. You're ruining your experience of growing up, of enjoying that transition from being adolescence to young adulthood. That's your time to grow within yourself, to learn who you are, to find who you are, not from some perv motherfucker.
Within your peer group. You learned all that dumb, goofy shit within your peer group.
So where's their fucking moral compass?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So anybody who you link up with who challenges your moral compass, something's not right with them. You need to walk away.
Absolutely. And that goes back to becoming a leader and not a follower. Because so many, when you say peer group, that goes back to people don't want to feel like an outsider. They don't want to feel like the oddball out. They want to feel like an outcast. Well, strangely enough, leaders are all that. You have to be a leader to be an outcast, to be an outsider, to be somebody that somebody looks at differently, because you're the one that says, I don't give a fuck what y'all doing. Y'all all could go and march into the sea. I'm not gonna be that dumb motherfucker, because why am I following y'all? So because you feeling that way, young people, that means you're on a different flow. That means, hey, embrace that leadership quality. And you may feel outside, you may feel like, oh, you know what, I don't want it. But you'd rather be a leader than a follower, because you never know where the followers are or who they're following. As a leader, you always know where you're going. So that's how we have to instill in our kids too. Because kids come back, well, nobody want to play with me today because I play something different. Or all right, go play something different. There's another kid that probably want to play the same thing you want to play, but was too scared or didn't wasn't self assured enough to say, I want to do that because they're playing that. I want to play that. But if you played it, because there is another kid that plays that. So you have to walk in your truth. And it's
It's
hard
like
for kids to say that because to do that because they're young, they want to be part of it.
you gotta be a part of the group. It's like being the first one in the group of friends who gets married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who has their mouth open. Oh my goodness, I can't believe she got married at this age. You just signed up to do some man's laundry for the rest of the year. You're like, baby girl, it's so let me pass it on you. Believe it or not, it's okay. And it's not the marriage is just because your point of view is different or perhaps it's not as enlightened as mine, you know,
Exactly.
that's okay. But I'm going to move accordingly. You cannot be afraid to move against the grain, especially when you know where your moral compass is guiding you, right?
Yes.
Because you
Yes.
decide, hey, I'm done dating. I'm not living, that the lifestyle where you jump in and out of relationships and have all these partners. I would like to, be do something a little more solid. Like, no, I do want a traditional lifestyle. I do want to be married, or maybe it's something not as extreme. I do want a long-term relationship, but most of your peers are doing, the single lifestyle or, the busy lifestyle. And, that's not for you. You have to bow out and watch how when you put your moral compass right where it's supposed to be and you making the right choices, watch how many people start to follow you. And then you'll go to the point where you are not the first one, not just the only one in the group who's married. Now everybody's married and you were the first
Mm-hmm.
group to be married, right? And that's
Absolutely.
outsider, right? So you didn't get to hang out with all your friends at first, right? You had
Mm-hmm.
to go off and figure out their own self, right? But
Absolutely.
eventually, because what you did was right, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll start to see people to follow.
That's true, T. And the other thing is, people have to understand, you have to follow your path.
You do.
You can't look around at your friends who, she married and I ain't married, or I want to be married. No, no,
Mhm,
no, no. Stop looking at what other people are doing and look at what's your path. That's the
mhm,
problem with social media today. Everybody wants to look at everybody's life on social media, which we all know 90% is a lie anyway.
mhm,
So they're doing so much. They probably ain't doing shit. They probably
mhm.
sit there with that one glass of champagne. The only fucking they probably took that from a table and sit at the table and just took it and then put it back around the door. You don't know this.
Yeah.
Learn your path. Understand where you want to be, and that also goes back to understanding who you are.
Yep.
Again, if you have a tight moral compass and pretty much this is what I want to do, whatever it is, stay the course. Because again, you can't live your life living through your mom, your dad, or your friends. You'll wake up and you'll be 50 years old and ain't got shit going on. You're still doing the same shit you did when you was 20. And I
Mhm,
don't think anybody wants to be 50 years old still doing the same shit they was when they was 20, unless it's a job that they now probably should be high up in the job. But when it comes to how you run your life, you should not be in that same spot. If that's the case, you've been rocking a rocking chair your
mhm,
life. You didn't move. You
mhm.
you think you moved, but you're just going back and forth.
Yep.
So you gotta know who you are. And what you said before is about being by yourself. Being by yourself at some point in your life is the greatest thing will ever happen to you. Because at that point, you don't have any distractions of boyfriends, girlfriends, kids, anything like that. It's just you. That now makes you sit back and say, whoa, what am I doing? And it's not a matter of just trying to find someone, because find somebody to me always seemed like just a way of keeping busy, as you said before. There's a time when if you feel like your life ain't going where it should be going, you
Mhm.
probably need to step back and say, you know what? Let me just step back. Let me take a little pit stop and reevaluate what am I doing. And if
Yeah.
what am I doing is going to where I ultimately want to go. And
Mhm,
if not, I need to make some changes now.
mhm.
I can't say, oh yeah, down the road make some change. No, down the road is today, because the decisions you make today influences down the road. Because people always say, well, the future. No, the future is actually now. So the
Yeah.
decisions you make right now
Yeah.
influences how your life will be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, next month, next year.
So we always say it like in seeds, right? You sow
Hmm.
seeds of today, right? Sow the
Mm-hmm.
seed today. What you gonna get tomorrow? Are your seeds gonna sprout later on? Are you gonna have? Is it gonna be a fruit tree, a nut tree? What you gonna have? Stones on your tree? What type of seeds are you planting for the right now? Because later on, when you looking for a harvest or something to drop down,
Mm-hmm.
you have anything. Put
Yes.
the work in and let your moral compass guide you as you move about to make the right choices, to plant the proper seeds. That moral compass is going to make you mindful to go back and water those seeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because morally, you know that you have to nurture things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to take proper care, right? The moral
Absolutely.
compass is not going to say, "Oh no, take poor care of the things that you get, that you take pride in and take care of," right? It's going to say
Mm-hmm.
proper care in those things. And so when you take proper care of something, you plant those proper seeds, you're going to get something out of it, especially something that you actually wanted. Yeah,
Absolutely.
chances
The-
of you getting is going to be higher.
and the other thing, T, people don't understand is it's not going to happen overnight. Now, over many podcasts, we've said it many times. It's not going to be a pill. It's not going to be a shot. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be something very quick. It's
Mm-hmm.
you have to have the patience
Mm-hmm.
for this thing to grow. The tree's not going to grow overnight. So you can
Like,
plant a tree today. It's not going to grow tomorrow. You go, oh, the tree ain't here.
yeah, like
Not going to
think
happen.
of the cycle of that fruit tree, right? Just the
Mm-hmm.
fruit tree. It's going, first of all, we gotta get that seed to sprout.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hold on, that's a whole feat in its own. If you know anything about plants, getting that seed to sprout. Like, oh, okay, because some of them are surrounded by, like, that outer casing of something ridiculous, right? That whole nut, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
that hard stone-like thing. All right, now we got that dang on thing to sprout. Now it's a tree. Okay, it take about 3 or 4 to 5 years for some of those trees to even flower before we
Mm-hmm.
get a fruit from it. So just
Absolutely.
because you put that seed in it and just because you see those, trees forming, you still don't got no fruits to get from it yet. You still got to take the time, nurture it, and act accordingly in the meantime.
You have to. And again, it's almost like growing a tree is like raising your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I can this picture I've always seen, and I got to buy that picture too. But it's two people, and it's one both have seeds, and one is watering, the other one just threw the seed out there. And if you watch it, it's like a little pamphlet. If you flick it, you see the guy who's watering the tree and every day put stuff on the tree is growing straight and healthy. The other tree just barely a little root, just a little bulge out the ground. The guy looking at the ground like, what the
It's,
hell?
it's a little seedling.
Yeah, it's just that's it. And this guy's stuff is just growing,
Mm-hmm.
but every day there's one guy's putting water on it. He's
Yeah,
he's meticulous. He's on top of it. He's making sure it's good. It's healthy.
he's
The other
caring
guy's
for it. He's caring for it. Yeah.
caring for it. The other guy, oh, I threw it out there, so I'll let nature figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, the guy who took care of the tree's beautiful and healthy. The other guy's tree ended up being a puny little unhealthy tree, just bent over. And he
Mm-hmm.
asked the guy, I think in the end, he asked him, like, well, why your tree so bigger than mine? He said, because I took care of the tree. The
Mm-hmm.
tree needed nurturing. The tree needed nutrients. I was here to take care of the tree. So if you take care of the tree, you're going to be able to see at the end this beautiful tree because you took care of it. You, on the other hand, just threw the damn seed out there and said, oh, it's going to rain from the sky. It'll grow. It'll be all right.
Left it to chance.
Left it to chance. And pretty much that's what's happening with the kids today. You had the parents and the guardians and the families who are basically nurturing the kid and feeding the kid knowledge and giving a moral basis in order to grow from. And yeah, other people just say, okay, the kids here, I'll let whoever raise them, let the streets raise them. I'll let whoever, they'll be all right. They'll end up, being where they're going to be. And in the end, we all see the tree that's been properly taken care of, got moral guidance, people been put them in the position to be successful,
Mm-hmm.
can be successful.
And
The
can
other
we
one,
say the same thing about the relationships that we see today? You
yes,
see relationships where you taking care, you put the work in, and you've actually nurtured that relationship, and you see it thriving. Whereas some relationships, you get together and you just leave it to chance, like romanticism, right? And if the romance runs out, then you throw the towel in, right?
mm-hmm,
You don't do
mm-hmm,
real work, like the relationship just gonna work for itself. And It's like, no, you got to put the care, the time, and the nurturing even into the relationship, into yourself to actually grow and to thrive as a person.
You have to. And T, we're two examples of that.
Mm,
You put that into your marriage, and now you are married with beautiful kids and
mm,
thriving. I
yeah,
just ended with my marriage, a beautiful son and thriving. We
yeah.
can
It's
tell
still
these people
working.
it's
It's still
still
working.
working. It's
You got to
constantly
always work.
working.
Yeah.
We always
It's
got to work. It's because we're
work.
constantly changing. So when I tell people, somebody, somebody sent us a note one time and said, y'all just look like two people just know everything. I said, no, we don't know everything. But what we did was we got spouses that are our teammates, our true teammates.
No, I got my
And
shit. Just so
huh?
we don't know. Like the marriage. Like, yeah. Like it
Yeah.
comes out and it's like it'll whoop your ass. And if you're not, my mentor said, like in the marriage, you got to put your battle gear on, right? Like
Yep.
in
Yep.
real life, be out there having you be boxing, and if you're not boxing it back, it gets the best of you, then you defeat it. Then that means you're done, right? And so
Absolutely.
we're not out there and like life is battling you, right? Because life will whoop your ass,
I-
right?
Yep.
And
Yes,
if
it
you're not
will.
out there battling life back, then you're dead. You're
Yep.
that's just the end of it. You stop fighting, and then that's the end. And it's the same thing within the relationship. It can be a relationship with your parents, the
Yep.
relationship with your siblings, with your cousins. All these relationships have the capacity to literally whoop all of our asses. That's just the bottom line.
It really
It
does.
does. And if you're not back there fighting for that relationship for your sister, like, yo, nah, we're not doing that. And we don't need to be as close as we used to be, but we're going to have some bit of a relationship where we can both thrive as sisters together. Like you, my mom, you ain't going nowhere. I need respect here. You need respect there. Let's find the middle ground. Like, we don't got to be super close, but let's fight for something that's ours, right? Let's work
Absolutely.
something
Absolutely.
ours because the relationships have the capacity to real life get you where you know you don't want to
Yes.
be at.
Yes.
And if you can fight through those things, people act like you just a tree standing, like you ain't never been moved before, like life never happened to you before. And it has, but it's
Yeah.
your ability to get past those things. Keep growing, keep thriving.
You have
Doing
to. And
it.
your roots are in the ground too. That's the other thing. Your
Yeah,
roots are so deep in the ground, it's gonna take
a lot to
earth
move.
a
Yeah,
lot to move.
it's gonna
So
take
that's
a
why
lot to
you
move.
you can take it. You can take the
A
storm.
little,
You can
a
take
little, a little.
yeah. A little 100-degree weather comes, a little
Yeah,
100-mile-an-hour wind come.
yeah.
You're
You'll be
gonna you're
fine.
gonna move a little bit. You're
No
gonna
shade.
move, but you're gonna be still there. You're gonna be right
Yeah,
there. And,
yeah.
and that's what a lot of people understand that this thing called life ain't easy. It's never been easy. It's never gonna be easy. So if anybody thinks it's gonna be easy, you can forget it. You might as well just chalk it up right now. Nope, it's not gonna be easy.
Easy is for losers. For some,
Hello, and I don't
like
want shit easy. That
nothing
I
worth
We
it.
could not be
That's
the people we
easy.
are if shit was easy. We
Yeah,
would not be here having this conversation
yeah.
if I wanted easy. I don't want
Boring.
shit easy.
You
I'm
talk
boring.
about you don't want no boring life. Life is boring if it's easy. So yeah,
Exactly.
super
It,
boring. You don't got
it's
to
it
talk about
truly is.
at
It
the cookout.
truly is. Yes, it's like oh God no. And I'm gonna say this also. There are going to be some relationships, my people, that you may have to cut them off. You may have to come off like a disease limb because if that relationship is detrimental to your mental health and your
Hmm.
moral health,
Hmm.
you have to let them go. And
Yeah,
and again, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult, but it's for your own good. It's not
yeah.
for their good, it's for you. You have to be the one to be healthy. You're the one who have to live on your morals. You're the one who have to be 10 toes down and believe and stand firm. If
Hmm.
that person ain't that, you ain't got to cuss, man. You got to do anything. Just be
Hmm.
quietly and just leave. Don't got to say anything. Just leave. Because
Don't
again,
move
it's
fast.
uh,
If, like I ain't mean to blurt it all out like that, but don't just run away from relationships. But if your relationship does challenge, your morals, that's one thing. But if you're within a marriage and you feel like, it's just not going your way or your morals are being challenged, you have to consider what literally brought you there from the first place. And you gotta, either do the work, you gotta be still, or you gotta take your time when you move, because hasty movements don't get us anywhere either, right? And
No,
that's part of morals also, is the time that you sit with things, right? I'm quite sure
absolutely.
we're taught to think before we talk, right? And so you
Hmm.
want to also think before you put some things into action. But no one should be unhappy, but you also want to be mindful that moving around isn't necessarily that thing that's going to make you happy, right? Sometimes
Absolutely.
miss some things when choosing your mate. And if you move too quick, you don't have time enough to reflect on what it is that made you choose that mate, or perhaps made you stay in that relationship to where you didn't feel the respect that you needed, or perhaps
Hmm.
make choices that perhaps you didn't want to make, or made you compromise pieces of your spiritual self or just any piece of yourself. So you got to sit back and think about those things. Um, but indeed, don't not move accordingly.
Girl, I swear, you can always encapsulate an entire meeting, an entire concept, entire podcast, just like all of a sudden it's just like, how do we wrap this up? And you just like, whoo, boom, as into a nice ball with a little bow on it. And I swear, this is one of those conversations that it had to be had because we're seeing moral decay, morality decaying, morality falling by the wayside. Um, and when that happens, we no longer become a functioning society. You just become a society of anarchists, and you got to have rules. You have to live by certain rules.
Mhm.
Everybody should have a certain rule which you live by. Certain things that you're just going to stand 10 toes deep in.
Yeah.
And being morally, having a moral compass is the key. You
Mm.
got to have a moral compass because if you don't have that, you will do anything. And as we see in society in general, people do anything. So
Yeah.
it's important to instill in our kids. It has to. You have to instill in your kids. And you have to be the one because again, as T said before, if you do not personally install it in their kid, somebody else's moral compass will be installed in that kid, and you probably won't like how that ends up for you.
You won't. You, but I mean, it could be your grandmama, your kid out there acting old now. Oops.
Yep. Yep. So you absolutely got there right. And that could very well happen. It happens all the time now. So again, people, again, just get your moral compass straight before you go out there and go for anything, whether it's jobs, relationships, personal growth, anything. Just get that straight and then make sure
Keep
your
it
kids are
straight.
tight.
Yeah, but keep it straight. Once you got it straight, keep it straight. Don't let anyone else challenge it.
I can't say no more. And with that one, I'm going to end this episode of On the Mic with the M.
Auntie.
Listen, y'all, subscribe button, like the channel, hit the little bell so you can get the next podcast that's coming out. And until then, people, stay safe and peace and blessings to you.